Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. I want to give a big shout out to the Enforcer for hanging out with us during our Survivor Series live reactions, and of course, all the friendos for hanging out with us as well. It was a lot of fun. I thought Survivor Series was a lot of fun as well. Like, you know, there wasn't really much on the line beyond the typical Survivor Series bragging rights kind of thing. They sort of suspend storylines for the most part. But I thought that the storylines going into this year were strong enough in terms of the Survivor Series build to make this a pretty fun pay-per-view, and it paid off.
Yeah, it did totally. And they kind of dropped the brand versus brand, you know, making this all about who's the better brand so much. It was more so about kind of the interpersonal dynamics of the individual teams. And I like that, especially given that like all 5 members of the Raw team weren't on Raw prior to August of this year. And 4 of the 5 weren't members of Raw until after the draft. So it really wouldn't make much sense for them to say, oh, we're here to fight for Raw when they've only been on the Raw for a matter of weeks. So I like that approach. It all worked out pretty well. There's about 3 really awesome matches. The only kind of underwhelming outcome wasn't like the women's Survivor Series match was good. Just how they handled Lana being sole survivor wasn't as impactful as I thought could have or should have been. But New Day versus Street Profits, awesome. Asuka versus Sasha, awesome. Main event, Drew versus Roman, awesome.
A really great match, yeah.
So in terms of the quality of wrestling, not a whole lot of complaints.
Yeah, I like also that, you know, I thought that Roman and Drew, especially that match, had they could have really super overbooked that finish, and it was overbooked. I mean, you had a ref bump, you had a low blow, you had an interference super kick, but it wasn't like loaded up with The Fiend, with Miz trying to cash in, with Randy Orton. There was a lot of potential there for things to go really south, and they kept it pretty simple. They made it pretty believable for Drew to lose in the fashion that he did. And they also helped propel a sort of a story within a story with Jey Uso being swept in the Team SmackDown as part of Team SmackDown Survivor Series. We'll get to Lana in a bit because I totally, you know, you and I are both on the same page with that one. First of all, though, I gotta say, congratulations. You are we're hot potatoing this title now. I think
it seems like it's the attitude era right now.
Is the phrase
Going In Raw.
Exactly? So this is going to be coming back to you. Do you have the final tally for the Going In Raw Cup? Is this coming home too?
No, that's staying with you because Sasha won. You get to keep it.
Nice.
I at one point during the show though we were tied. I climbed back a lot. I was down pretty huge.
You're down big
after the last pay-per-view, but I crawled back to get it close.
So people who don't know, really quick, the draft that we did around the time of the WWE draft, we're every pay-per-view we're counting the points on our picks there, and whoever has the most points at any given time will be the holder of the Going In Raw Cup.
Correct.
There's no actual cup on this though yet.
No, that's got to change though. You're supposed to glue a cup to the bottom of it.
I don't have a cup. Need a cup. Anyways.
Gotta get a cup, man.
So yeah, let's just hop right into it. Let's see here. Start off. Oh, we had a kickoff show, and they had announced the dual brand battle royal.
Correct.
And I mean, look, there were only 6 matches on the main card, and so this thing usually a kickoff show battle royal is loaded with B players. This had Rey Mysterio. The Miz, Mr. Money in the Bank himself was in this. You had all sorts of, Dom, who's pretty
half
big
of
deal
Hurt
these
Business.
days.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Hurt Business. Yeah, a couple
Jeff
of Hurt
Hardy,
Business guys.
Nakamura was in there.
Elias
Bob
was in
Roode,
this. Mm-hmm.
Dolph Ziggler. A lot of major names. Ricochet was in there. It was fun. And Enforcer brought this up during the stream, is that fairly often, though, these days, these battle royals usually end. I mean, I think that's how Lana... didn't she get her spot on the Survivor Series team by... No, she got number one championship match against Asuka by winning the battle royal in this fashion, where she was out of the match for a stretch, got back in to eliminate someone at the end if they already thought they had won.
It is
same thing kind of happens here.
Standard trope, yeah.
It really is for battle royals, where Dom thinks he's won, and then Miz comes back in, tosses him over the top. There was some good stuff. There's really great 20 seconds between Cedric Alexander, Ricochet. Ricochet eliminates Cedric with a half and half suplex on the apron. And then as soon as Ricochet gets up from that, Shelton Benjamin knees the heck out of him. He goes tumbling off the apron.
Yeah, that was a
And
cool
then
spot.
Apollo Crews dumps Shelton out of the ring.
There was a really cool sequence between Chad Gable and Dominic Mysterio. Man, if there was any doubt, if there was any thought that these wrestlers are carrying Dominic Mysterio to really cool matches and really cool sequences, I'm still not anywhere close to invested in him as a character. I could care less. But that being said, it is incredibly impressive for this guy to be matching moves with guys like Gable. Obviously, we've seen him plenty with Seth Rollins, with Buddy Murphy. This kid is, dude, talk about, not falling far from the tree or whatever it is.
Apple doesn't
The
fall
apple.
far from the
He
tree.
is the apple in that particular metaphor. I'm really impressed. This kickoff show, especially that sequence, I was like, holy crap, Dom is solid, man.
Yeah,
he is solid.
He is. First competitor eliminated with John Morrison by Dominic.
What is the deal with that? You have a potential main eventer on your hands.
I don't know, man.
I mean, you could say that for a lot of people, I guess.
Yes, that's true. That's a lot of people in WWE. It was Dolph was rocking the SmackDown hat.
Love it.
Turned backwards for a good chunk of the match. That's always great. But no, it was a fun enough battle royal. And there was that bit between Dom and Gable was really good. Miz is your winner. That was his highlight for the night. We would not see him again. Which, given they had the Undertaker thing close the show, it's not that surprising. They probably didn't want that moment, Miz cashing in. Maybe that's one of the things they're waiting for fans to be around to happen.
Dude, if they didn't wait for fans to send the Undertaker on his way, we didn't. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to use that for the thumbnail and the title. The Undertaker has his final farewell. We didn't really talk about that at the head of the show because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. He just said goodbye. So we'll get to that at the end when it happened in the show. But yeah, that was sort of I guess the big.
That was very brief.
Well, was it though?
The actual meat of it was very brief.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they took their time getting to the meat of it, but the actual meat of it was really brief.
For sure, yeah.
Like Undertaker said, all 3 sentences or so.
So it kicked off with the men's Team Raw versus Team SmackDown match. As I had been proclaiming from the beginning of this, and then changed my prediction at the very last minute, because I still think, in a much lesser way than the women's match, I still think that the outcome of this could have been a little bit better with slightly the same result if AJ Styles would have been the lone person eliminated.
And that brought Team Raw together.
As the martyr for it to click, hey, this guy sacrificed himself for us, and then they come together as a team and he can still celebrate with them because of his sacrifice. I thought that would have been a much cooler story, but the story here was, not without a few speed bumps. Team Raw really got their act together. They formed a real unit and swept Team SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of saw this coming a mile away, something like this, because the story of Team Raw coming together was a huge part of Raw, whereas they really do anything to motivate, develop any sort of story amongst Team SmackDown. They tried a little bit tonight in the kickoff show. There was a bit with Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin that was pretty entertaining that Billy Kay was involved in too. But that's kind of been the extent of developing any sort of chemistry or work on any of the interpersonal relationships on Team SmackDown. Just didn't really. I mean, the focal point there's two kind of major story beats for this Team SmackDown bit early on. So Seth, once he comes to the ring, he just stands on the apron, both his hands on the top rope, almost like in a trance type state. During a stretch early in the match, Matt Riddle's in the ring. So you're damn sure that Seth Rollins is getting in the ring to wrestle Matt Riddle whatsoever. Right. So Matt Riddle tags in Sheamus, and Seth's like, Kevin Owens, come here, tag me in. So he gets tagged in, and then he walks up to Sheamus. Or sorry, he takes a few paces, turns to his team and says, "It's for the greater good." And then he gets on his knees and tells Sheamus to do his part. Sheamus destroys him with a bro kick, pins Seth. Seth is eliminated.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, the match was pretty much, from a SmackDown perspective, all about Jey Uso, pretty much.
Yeah. And was it the very next bit? So Team SmackDown goes down to huddle and to start talking strategy. Team Raw sees their opportunity, and Braun Strowman yells, "We need to get together on the same page and do this." And so he tags himself in, gets off the apron, and does his big train thing going around the corner.
Shoulder tackle,
lays out everybody on Team SmackDown. It was a pretty cool moment. I actually liked this match quite a bit. I thought it was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun. You said did you highlight the eliminations?
So yeah, like you mentioned, Seth was eliminated by Sheamus after the big train bit with Braun, the shoulder tackle thing. We had a big man versus big man face off with Otis and Keith Lee. They were facing off in sort of a test of strength. Keith Lee tagged in Braun. He sort of isolates Otis. AJ's tagged in. Owens goes on a run, hitting stunners on everybody on Team Raw.
That was cool.
But AJ, who had been sort of thrown out before all those stunners, comes back in with a phenomenal forearm. AJ Styles eliminates Kevin Owens. AJ gets a tag into Matt Riddle. He hits a floating bro on Corbin because he was in next. So Riddle eliminates Baron Corbin. Sheamus bro kicks Jay. Otis gets in a hot tag. He starts taking apart Team Raw. Braun tags himself in against Otis. Otis is able to get the upper hand, hits the Caterpillar, goes up top. Riddle distracts. Braun is able to hit his power slam. He eliminates Otis. Jay comes in. He's the last guy. He starts going off on Team Raw. Super kicks for everybody. He super kicks AJ. But before he's able to get up to the top to do his splash, Jordan, they're calling him Oso now? Oso?
I don't remember.
I think it's OSO. Is it Oso? I don't know, whatever. I call him Jordan. Anyway, that's Jordan. His name. Jordan drags AJ out of the way. AJ goes for a phenomenal forearm, eats a super kick instead. Jay goes up, but he doesn't realize that Keith Lee had tagged in. Lee catches him from the splash and gives him a devastating spirit bomb. Keith Lee eliminates Jey Uso. Team Raw sweeps. Wildly fun match.
It was fun. Next match, tons of fun too.
Yeah.
Tag champs versus tag champs. New Day versus Street Profits. So New Day with Big E walk out to the ring in full Gears of War gear. Of course, they're all in Gears 5. And it was amazing.
The trailer footage looks... I'm not a huge Gears of War guy.
Nor am I.
But, this is worth considering given how great it really does look. Like all the being able to play as those guys looks really fun.
Oh, man. It really is cool. Street Profits have a promo in gorilla position. Ford puts over the Taker's anniversary tonight. Same with Dawkins. They kind of go through, mention something about, all of Undertaker's most famous rivals. They basically sing all of Shawn Michaels' theme.
One thing, sorry, Bangers here in chat mentioned Keith Lee got new music. He debuted the song he was working on. It's infinitely better. I didn't really get even a good listen to it, but it's better. It's not generic. It's got him.
He's doing the vocals. Yeah.
So
it's not.
Awesome.
It's.
Sorry.
No, I'm thinking about how to compare it to his NXT theme. I mean, beyond just him doing the vocals, it's it's a slower paced song. It's not as, like the BPMs are a little bit lower. Anyway, so Street Profits have a promo. They want the smoke. They go out to the ring. There's this great bit back and forth between Montez and Kofi that ends in Kofi hitting an enziguri. You compare this match. I know this is the match you compare it to is one probably not a lot of people have seen, but when Lio Rush took on Ricochet and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Yes, because it was like the old veterans, because they were showboating. The New Day were showboating.
They're kind of working heel.
They were working this match kind of heel. Yeah, not like they weren't cheating, but they were definitely a bit arrogant.
Hubris.
Thank you. Hubris.
And that's like Ricochet. He was the veteran of PWG at the time. I think it was Lio Rush's first match. And the story they told was pretty much, here's this young up and comer, And Ricochet's like, well, you're not making your name on at my expense.
Right.
And that's kind of what the story was here. Is New Day is like, yeah, you're Street Profits, you're good, but you're not gonna get to that level at our expense.
Right.
And so there was a great bit towards the end of the match where Kofi's going for a Trouble in Paradise on Ford. Ford ducks it and pretty much hits a Trouble in Paradise of his own. That was great. Street Profits one point try to hit up, down, down. Woods escapes that. New Day hit Midnight Hour. Ford kicks out. And I like this bit. Commentary was saying that the move, because usually Big E does the big ending while Kofi drops the DDT, or Woods. This time it was Woods with the big ending, and commentary was saying, well, the move just isn't as strong without Big E providing, his muscle for that particular aspect of it. So down the stretch, Kofi hits the SOS. Dawkins breaks that up. Woods sends Dawkins out of the ring with missile drop kick. Kofi goes up top. What did I hit? Oh, hits forward with a what did I write my notes here? Anyways, Woods hits a press slam, gut buster on Ford, gets a 2. Then Woods puts Montez on the top rope, looking for a superplex. Ford pushes him off. Dawkins tags in. Street Profits hits the Doomsday blockbuster to get the win, and afterwards, handshakes, hugs between the teams.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff.
Awesome match.
Yeah,
awesome match.
Really, really great match. After that, we had mid-card champion versus mid-card champion, the champion of all the continents versus the champion of the United States. We had Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley.
Lasted longer than we kind of thought.
That was literally the first thing I wrote in my notes. This goes longer than I figured it would, yeah.
Yeah, but hardly competitive. I mean, Sami got some stuff in. He was stalling, running away, being opportunistic. But whenever Lashley got his hands on Sami Zayn, he was tossing him around the ring pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. He ended up winning with the Hurt Lock after Sami Zayn tried to get him DQ'd, claiming to the ref that MVP had tripped him on the outside, but the ref wasn't having it. Sami goes in there and ends up tapping out to the Hurt Lock. But yeah, it was basically Sami just bickering with the Hurt Business the entire time. It was still relatively entertaining. I'm glad it didn't go 30 seconds. It went like probably 7.
Yeah. I mean, Sami's approach to this match has been consistent with this version of his character.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
which he's highly opportunistic,
very crafty.
Yes, crafty. That's a good word.
And they didn't chump him out. Like he got offense in, and what the offense he got in was effective. It's just it's Bobby Lashley, and he's got
to a degree, but it's still Bob Lashley. Exactly.
Yeah.
So after that, we have a bit between we have Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso backstage. They're talking out in front of Roman's locker room. Heyman and Roman exit, and Roman's like, "I don't want any excuses. You lost." And Jimmy says, "It was 5-on-1." Jimmy's like, "Let's get out of here. You have to deal with this." And Roman goes, "No, you stay. You can leave."
Yeah.
Jimmy, Jay, you stay here. And Roman says, "You lost because you can't control your team. They don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, they don't respect me or our family. And if you can't make them respect me, you don't get a spot at the table. Now get out of here. I don't want to see you."
No time for losers.
No.
That's what he said. After that, we had Asuka versus Sasha Banks. Another just an absolutely terrific match. Again, there's all sorts of opportunity, be it Bayley or more likely Carmella, for there to be some interference, a wonk finish. No, they gave Sasha Banks the clean victory here with towards the end. They started doing a bunch of rolling pin attempts, and Sasha just ends up getting the last one. But man, this match was so, you could tell these two just love working with each other. Sasha Banks is at a whole new level these days, man.
I know. Her and Asuka can wrestle every day, all day.
Yeah.
And I'd enjoy it because the speed, the precision, the crispness with everything they do, all the moves, all the counters. It's so good.
Too often in wrestling, I don't know. Like, I feel like the WWE style of doing things sometimes lends itself to a more deliberate pace. There are 2 instances: this match here and Bianca Belair taking it to Nia Jax.
Oh man,
such a sense of urgency in both this match and that sequence, and I love to see it because whenever you have that sense of urgency, it just heightens the drama. It sucks you in.
Yeah,
it really good stuff.
Yeah, that sequence with Bianca later on where she was using her insane athleticism to evade and get the upper hand against Shayna and Nia was awesome.
It was, because, well, we'll get to it when we get to that match.
Yeah, definitely. This match was fantastic. As you said, no interference, and just a bunch of roll-ups on the end, or at the end there was like the beginning of it was really good technical stuff. Like Asuka, I mean, they both have submission finishers, but Asuka especially is noted to be like a really good technical wrestler, and Sasha was matching her move for move, counter for counter. Just really good stuff.
Asuka started targeting the ankle, started getting her ankle submissions. And did Sasha hit any? Do you recall? Did she hit any meteors in this? Okay, she did. Okay, I didn't notice. I was wondering if that was like one story because she goes to those a lot these days.
She hit one in the corner, and then there was another one off the barricade. Remember when Asuka tries to suplex her? Over the barricade,
yeah,
and Sasha
yeah,
kind of lands on her feet and hits a meteor off that.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Later on.
So, anyways, yeah, like I said, and again, it was the kind of thing where they're sort of checking off things that Sasha hasn't done. They're sort of taking care of that. So
yeah,
last time Asuka beat Sasha. This time Sasha's able to sort of surprise Asuka with a win.
Really good match. After that, so in the pre-show, the same day the Undertaker debuted at Survivor Series, I believe. There was another famous debut that he was worried that he was going to be inside that egg.
He thought he was going to be in the egg, but it was the gobbledygooker.
Yeah, so earlier, that damn turkey won the 24/7 title. Now we see him walking backstage. There's a huge pile of birdseed. Of course, as a turkey, he wants birdseed. Tozawa emerges from a road case, rolls him up for the win, and then R-Truth emerges, clobbers Tozawa with a bag of birdseed to get the win, to reclaim the 24/7 championship.
Yes. After that, we had the Women's Survivor Series match. So we can talk about this now because Lana ended up winning. She had one short sequence in the match. Everybody
Mostly
was
with Natty, which is cool. They addressed that story with her and Natty because that was just kind of dropped.
Yeah, it was. So she had one cool sequence. I forget, probably Nia or Shayna tagged herself in, and they made Lana, or they basically bullied her into tagging out. They made Lana stand on the ring steps and just stay there. So she didn't have an opportunity to tag back in.
No.
The match ended with Bianca and Nia getting the double count out. So it went like this. Peyton Royce had a really brief but really good showing here.
Yeah.
She ended up eliminating Bayley after a superplex from the top to the floor on top of all the other competitors. It was like a snap superplex too.
Yeah, it was great.
It looked pretty brutal. She rolls Bayley back in, hits her amazing finish. I forget what she's calling it. And then is it the deja vu? Is that what she calls it?
Deja vu. Yeah.
So she hits that and eliminates Bayley. After that, Natalya eliminates Peyton Royce with a sharpshooter. Lacey Evans eliminates Natty with the women's right in a pretty cool moment. It was a great top rope Spanish fly from Lacey Evans.
Completely unexpected.
Completely unexpected to Bianca Belair. Shayna eliminates Ruby by basically choking her out to death. Liv eliminates Lacey Evans. And then you're left with Bianca Belair and Nia, Shayna, and Lana. So Lana is just, again, standing there, can't do anything. Shayna ends up an amazing sequence from Bianca Belair. Looked like $1 million. Really great stuff. But Shayna was able to get in the clutch, and Bianca, you noted this, that they had done
a
similar
spot in NXT.
Sequence.
Yeah,
in
where
NXT.
Shayna puts the clutch on Bianca and she powered up. I think in NXT though she eventually faded. Here, well, imagine that, referencing a story beat in NXT.
Right.
Here, Bianca gets up and stumbles to the ropes, but in the process, it seems like she passes out. So the ref's counting 5. Shayna's not letting go. Yeah, the ref, gets to 5. Bianca has her hand on the rope. He DQs Shayna, and Shayna's like, well, she passed out.
Yeah.
Like, call the match. She passed out. No, you're out of here. So while all that's happening, Nia, she goes and clears the announce table off, sets up for a Samoa drop. Bianca escapes that, pushes Nia into the ring steps, and then they brawl for a little bit ringside, and then Bianca backdrops her over the barricade. She turns to try to get back in the ring right as the ref counts 10.
Yeah.
And
So Lionheart here in chat says, I didn't like Nia no-selling the stair spot.
She got right back up.
We've noticed that she kind of, I will guarantee you that's direction from somebody in the back. I will almost guarantee you, because I think that I actually really think it's effective. When Bianca was chipping away at her, like during the entire time, like you had the Riot Squad, they basically did a 2-on-1 situation with Nia Jax.
Yeah, that was really good when they were tagging in and out and getting moves off.
It was really good stuff.
It was smooth, yeah.
And it's just more believable when Nia is no-selling these spots. And she doesn't no-sell them. She just sort of recovers really quickly.
No, that's that ring step spot. She got right back up. She basically no-sold it.
Fine.
That, like your standard move and stuff. Like there's that one bit where Ruby Riott was going for a fun splash and she just bounced right off Nia. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Someone hits, your run-of-the-mill move on Nia. She no-sells. Makes sense. But you get pushed into the ring steps. At least take a beat to kind of try to shake it off before getting up. She was just right back up.
It wouldn't shock me if she's been given direction to do that. Wouldn't shock me.
I'm guarantee you, that she's getting direction to no sell to a degree. But at the same time, you're burying the ring steps finish by not selling for a beat at least. So you gotta look up, protect those ring steps.
Fair enough. So anyways, Bianca and Nia go at it on the outside, and they end up getting the double count out elimination. Lana's the last person
standing on the ring steps.
Man, this was such a lost opportunity. This was such a missed opportunity.
She should have been the sole survivor, but she was more or less beyond the bit with Natty, a completely passive participant in this match.
Yeah.
And that's not how you get the babyface heat for Lana.
She needed to have, she's lost before plenty of times. One last final elimination on an opponent that she has to show some resiliency. Go ahead.
This is how you do it. This might be a little meh, but at least she gets a pin. So if you reverse, so do this. I'll suggest this. So you do the bit with Nia and Bianca, they're ringside, the ring steps. Bianca backdrops her out over the barricade. She gets back in the ring to beat the 10 count. Then you get Shayna in. And you do the same spot with Shayna with the choke. Shayna gets DQ'd while Bianca's like passed out there. And then you have Lana be like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
So she runs in there. Maybe she even covers Bianca. Bianca kicks out, so Lana has to get a couple moves off. But it's like essentially Bianca is she's passed out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And she has just enough to kick out of something, kick out of the cover. And then Lana can hit a move and then get the win that way. 'Cause I don't think that would damage Bianca Belair's standing whatsoever.
Didn't Lana have like didn't she have like a Bronco Buster or something? What was her finish? Not a Bronco Buster.
I think she was using the X Factor.
She was using the X Factor, right? I was like, wait, Carmella does that, but yeah, wasn't.
Or
Lana
even she goes in there and like
X-Factor?
gets Bianca up and gets the X Factor and gets the win that way.
Yeah.
If she's gonna win the match, let her win the match.
I really thought they could have done something where she earns the respect of the others. Like that's honestly, especially if you were in front of fans, and Lana goes on a run that nobody thought she had this in her. I mean, honestly, you'd want to build it that way too, where we all see that she has something that she never taps out or she never gets pinned or whatever. Like she has a resiliency. She has something. Everybody who's in the WWE should have something to offer. Otherwise, why are they there?
Yeah, I know.
In storyline or in universe or whatever. That's the story they should have told. But I mean, even what we're talking about here would have been a better situation because you're an active participant. You have to do something.
You actually get the winning pinfall for your team as opposed to just standing on the ring steps the entire time. I know it's a really underwhelming way for Lana to be the sole survivor because it could have really been a cool moment.
Yeah, it could have been.
Maybe they kind of paid themselves in the corner here. Like, okay, we have this great kind of sequence here with Shayna, Nia, Bianca. Well, we don't want Bianca to take a pin. Which I understand, but there's a way to do that. You have Bianca, have to square off with Shayna and Nia for 3-5 minutes, and it's really good back and forth stuff. So, when Lana finally gets in there to pin Bianca, it's like Bianca's been beat up for a while.
Yeah.
A
lot of people are mentioning TLC's coming up. I mean, perfect opportunity given that she's gone through 9 tables. for them to do a tables match with Nia Jax, and they'll probably give Nia the win. But anyways, after that we had our main event match.
They'll have yeah.
What?
They'll have a ref bump. Lana puts Nia through a table so the ref doesn't see it.
Yeah.
And then Nia would end up winning.
Exactly.
Probably.
So we had Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Man, this was awesome.
And this was just this really did for the very, very short amount of build they've had, it was very effective. You do have two guys who are at the top of their game right now, and the top of their, respective brands. And this really did have a big fight feel to it.
Oh yeah.
It was really, really good stuff.
I don't know. This is easily one of Roman's 5 best matches of his career. I thought, at least.
It's definitely, I'd have to think back on it, but it was definitely one of the top that all of his matches lately I have been really invested in. Roman, I tune in for Roman these days. He has cracked this thing. It was simultaneously a ballsy move and an obvious one to turn him in this way. And I love that they're doing it, and it works so good.
It really does. I mean, from the storytelling perspective, it was awesome. From the actual wrestling perspective, it was awesome. Like I feel like there was a false note in the entire match, where Roman is coming in this like, oh, you're number 2, you're the obvious number 2, I'm number 1 guy. And not that he necessarily overlooked Drew, but he feels like I should take this guy, no problem. Well, you got a major problem on your hand, Roman.
Mm-hmm.
And then Drew giving Roman everything he's got, hitting a Claymore, ref bump ensues, and then hijinks thereafter. But man, just hard hitting stuff. A lot of great counters. I feel like a lot of matches tonight, they were just working a little extra stiff.
Yeah,
like the men's Survivor Series match. I felt like there was some stiff work going on there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they've got a spot where Drew's supposed to go through a table and it doesn't break the first time, so Roman just lifts him back up and he puts him back through, and then we get a spear through the barricade.
Man,
it was really.
Roman puts
stuff.
Drew back in the ring and Drew kicks out. There's one thing I like about this match where it's a subtle thing. I mentioned it during the stream.
Yeah.
Very often, save for like finishers and maybe some signatures, Drew will usually kick out at 1.
Mm-hmm.
He does it a lot. Mm-hmm. Very rarely on your kind of rank and file cover does Drew wait till 2 to kick out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, and I could be wrong, but I don't remember Drew ever kicking out at 1 of this match. It's a really subtle thing for us as audience to see, okay, Roman is on a different level than basically anybody else that Drew has been in the ring with. Like, I think he even kicked out to F5 at 1,
Yeah,
Mania.
Yeah, he did, yeah. No, that's a really good point, because especially everything he's gone through, you understand. But, man, Drew was selling as a character, not just, hey, he's taking big bumps, but, like, you see his face halfway through this, and he's wrecked. He is absolutely wrecked.
Yeah.
This was really, really good stuff.
And Roman was doing a great job of this is like the first time. Like, Jey Uso put up a fight, but us as viewers were like, oh, Jey Uso's not winning. And I think most people probably assumed that Drew McIntyre wasn't winning this one. But Roman had you believing, oh, man, I have a real fight on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
But gosh, it was so good. So good.
Yeah,
so,
how about that? People are noting this, and I have it in my notes here. Drew countering the spear with the roll through and getting Roman in a wrist lock. That was rad. So much of these are two big dudes, and yet they were so smooth. Like it's both physical, like brutal, but also very smooth. A lot of the stuff. I mean, there was also Drew going for the Claymore and Roman hitting him with a spear instead.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it a Superman punch? Yeah, I think it was a spear. Yeah, second spear. Drew kicked out of that.
They kicked out of that too.
And then we had our finish, which was so Roman got the choke out on Drew after. So we had a ref bump, Claymore.
Well, go back. Yeah. You had Roman set up for a spear. Drew countered to the Claymore. When Roman gets hit, he falls into the ref. Ref tumbles out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So Jey runs out. He gets on the apron. Drew clocks him. He turns around. Low blow from Roman. Jey gets in the ring, super kicks Drew. Roman hits a Superman punch, locks in a guillotine, and Drew starts to fade, then starts to power up, and then starts to fade. Another ref comes in. Drew passes out. Roman wins.
Yeah.
So damn good.
Monday will be pretty interesting to see how Drew takes that. So after that, we had The dead man.
Well, there was a nice moment at the top of the ramp. So Jay was kind of sitting at the top of the ramp for the finish of the match. Then Roman gets his belt and leaves, and so he walks up there, and Jay stands up, and Roman just kind of nods his head at him and gives him a hug.
Yeah, he's got a seat at the table again for today, tonight, anyways.
Yeah.
Got to make sure he does his laundry right, so he keeps that seat at the table.
God forbid he mixes the laundry when he's supposed to wash it.
Oh no!
You get the hots in there with the red shirt, and you get a pink sock.
Why is my whites? Why are they pink? What is this red shirt in here? Anyways, we had the final farewell of Dead Man. So a bunch of legends come out first. We had
so much of this. This was all pretty pointless, wasn't it?
Let's see if I remember everybody, because I didn't write that down.
Okay, yeah, I wrote it all down. So
I have the smallest number of notes here. Both Godwins, Savio Vega.
You're not going to do it in order?
No, I'm not going to do it in order.
All right, so Godwin, Savio Vega, and then who was after that?
The Godfather.
Yeah.
That's the Bone Street crew. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had HBK.
Yeah.
You had Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
You had in full costume Kane.
Yeah.
You had Rikishi.
Yeah.
You had how many? Oh, Shane McMahon.
Yes.
How many am I missing? Triple H.
4. You're missing 4. 5.
I'm missing 5? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Mankind.
Yeah.
Or Mick Foley, whatever. Screw it. Just tell me.
Booker T.
Oh, JBL. That's right. Booker T.
JBL, right. Jeff Hardy, and whoa.
Oh. Yep.
But here's the thing.
And
they all came out.
Ric Flair, yeah.
Oh, and Ric Flair. So they all came out. You cut to Undertaker video package. They're all gone.
They're all gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They didn't say a word. Nothing. They're all gone.
Vince absorbed them all.
Yeah, he is Rawgate Mutant.
Because he was there. He didn't have an entrance. He was just there.
No, he's just there. He absorbed them all.
He absorbed them all. So he says, basically says, some things live forever.
He says, tonight marks the end of an era, marking the end of the career. Tonight we say goodbye. They say nothing lasts forever. Undertaker will live on eternally. And he says, well, here he is, the Phenom, blah, 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 blah. Undertaker.
Yeah.
So 25 minutes later, Undertaker actually starts talking between his entrance and all the piped in applause.
Vince said WWF too.
I know.
WWF. And then WWE when I decided to change it.
Here's the thing they did with this. So, throughout the whole show in the Thunderdome, they have all the people watching from home on the LEDs. Taker comes out and he has this, entrance with Tesla coils and lasers and like 8-bit versions of his song. I guess it was the Tesla coils that were doing that. And so he grabs the mic, and in the background it looks like a cemetery on all the LED boards where the people usually are when they're watching the show.
Yeah, yeah.
But they have the crowd sound piped in, thank you, Taker, all the cheers and stuff. And you're like, okay, we know that's not real. and he's pausing for it like you would in front of a real crowd.
At least with the fake noise in Thunderdome, there's the visual of people, so you can sort of put that together. You can
exactly.
We know it's fake, but at least it's motivated fake.
Exactly. So why they didn't go back? So I even think it would have been more powerful, if you will, with none of the crowd sounds. I mean, just remember the contract signing on SmackDown between Roman and Drew. How intimate and real that felt because they didn't have them holding mics. It was just a conversation between two people.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not suggesting you can't have Taker come out there with no mic, but if you're going to take the fans at a Thunderdome, then don't pipe in the noise. It heightens the artificiality of the whole situation.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing, though. I kind of don't care. I'm just pointing it out because I think it's funny. I don't know that it wouldn't have come off as supremely awkward if there was no crowd noise. I think
okay, then have the people on the Trons then.
Yeah, I mean that I probably would have preferred that. But like the graveyard looked cool. I don't know. I mean, look, this clearly should have been in front of fans. I see a lot of people on Twitter really being into this. It's wrestling. It's all, a production, a fabrication.
Yes.
So it sounded great. It sounded like there were fans there. We know better. There's nobody there to motivate it. It was goofy because it's not in front of anybody. And then on top of that, over the past couple of days, which I think is great, you see him doing silly stuff on TikTok, on Cameo, on doing cooking stuff. I think it's all great for Mark Calloway that he spent, basically 30 years staying in character, and now he gets to let loose. I think that's terrific.
Let me ask you this. So, what would have you preferred? Him saying his goodbye as Undertaker, as Mark Calloway, or a combination of both?
We're gonna get either a combination of both or Mark Calloway at the Hall of Fame ceremony. And people have noted that as well, that you're gonna have fans. Next time they do a Hall of Fame, they're gonna have fans.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get, and we'll get some sort of final farewell. This was, him in costume. You and I were present. You and I were present for really what should have been his retirement, and it was a very electric moment with the fans there and everything. So we've had it already. I get it. This is 30 years since he debuted. They gave us everything they could give us. The great thing about Mark Calloway as well that we've noted in the documentary series that they did is that he liked the Boneyard match. He felt that was an appropriate enough setting. He is not so stuck in the past that he doesn't recognize that the future has to go on, that shit has to go on. And so, he's probably understanding, well, it's 30 years. This is a good time to end it. Yeah, they don't have fans. That's just where we're at. He seems to have a pretty good
perspective on things.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah. And that was the show. He just said a couple sentences and he left.
It's time for the Undertaker to rest in peace.
And he does his Undertaker pose to a Paul Bearer hologram.
Yeah, okay, so I'll be honest with you. If I had to change anything about this, I probably wouldn't have changed anything except for the Paul Bearer hologram.
Interesting.
I thought that was really goofy. Supremely goofy. But whatever. I think a lot of people really liked it, and I think a lot of people, I think production-wise, it hit the marks that it was supposed to, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and hear people like Ed Fry says, "I love the hologram." The spider dance, that was the coolest part. God bless you. That's awesome. If it enhanced the experience for you, that's fantastic. Holograms generally for me, I feel like they're goofy as hell. Oh man. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll answer some of your questions and hang out for a bit. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We totally appreciate it. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments below. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.